Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falco Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a brave noob world cast between Soulless and Firedune here on Romanticide. This was sent to Snipermonkey. Again, he's running low on Brave Noob World replay, so if you're a Bronze or a Silver League player that wants to get cast by Falcon Paladin, now is an excellent time to do so. What the heck is this ring? What? The effective range of what? Recall? What? I don't know. What is this ring? Anyway, bottom right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. It is Firedune, and in the top left, it is Soulless. He's a blue Terran player. So if you're a Bronze or a Silver League player, go ahead and send your replay to Snipermonkey. In the description is his address. Well, email address, not actually physical address, because that would be weird. Imagine emailing somebody a replay on like a CD or a thumb drive or something. That would be interesting here in the year 2020. What is this? I don't know why there's a ring around this Nexus. Okay, so it has a recall. Yes. It has Chrono Boost. Yes. It has Make a Mothership? Yes. But none of these things are rangy. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I've never seen this ring around a Nexus before. Somebody quick tell me what it is before I go nuts, please. Thank you. Alright, so a gateway into Cybercore opening here. Fairly safe against Terran. You don't know if they're going to proxy you or not. And having Stalkers and Adepts is much easier for you to handle the proxied Marines, if there are proxied Marines. There we go. And then expanding. Alright, so Firedune has a basic understanding of the build orders for Protoss versus Terran. That is good. Into a Forge. You're going to be supply blocked if you don't throw up another pylon here. Wait, hold on a second. Oh, it's up here. Right. So we did this before the expansion, which technically you're not supposed to do. It's supposed to be Nexus first, then Assimilator, then Pylon, or Pylon Assimilator. Doesn't really matter all that much. But alright, man. So got the double gas rolling, got the expansion rolling here too. Scouting with the barracks. Is Soulless going mech? Dude, Soulless has no attacking units at all at 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Oh, if a Stalker just kind of walked across the map here, it might be a bad time for Soulless. What's he going to make? Do we think Cyclone? I'm thinking Cyclone. First thing you're going to make here out of this factory. Okay. Don't make nothing, though. I don't recommend this course of action, Soulless. Again, you still have no army units at all. Another Stalker coming in. See, just keeping it at home. I think he's just worried about aggression showing up here, so... Checking, I don't know, man. Like, really worried about drops, it would seem like. You don't have to be that worried about drops this early. Okay, but for reals. Okay, finally making a Cyclone here at 340. This is not going well for the Terran player, I can tell you that much. Also, throwing up a command center inside the main base. I guess he's had units show up and mess with this before. So he's going to build it in the safety of the main and get a starport at the same time. So Scouting Barracks just shows up, and Firedune's like, okay, what? What is happening here? Why is there a barracks over on my side of the map at 4 minutes? Scouting purposes, obviously. It's a great scouter. I mean, sure, it gets shoot away by anything that can shoot up, but it won't die, probably. Not this early, not to 2 Stalkers. Mag Field Accelerator being researched by Soulless here. Loving that. It's got 3 SCVs sitting over here. For some reason, I don't quite understand. I don't know if they were intended... They weren't defending anything... Soulless is having some issues, everyone. I'm just going to call these out. It's okay. This is Bronze and Silver play. We're going to see issues in here. Twilight Council. The tech of choice here from Firedune. Maybe going for Blink on his Stalkers. Blink does give your Stalker some really nice utility, which is just so nice to have here. And seriously, just mass... Is this like a mass Cyclone play? If it is, I'm kind of in love with it. Again, one of the reasons I love casting the lower level games is because weird stuff happens. Stuff you will never see at the higher level games of StarCraft. Like, Clem would never do this against a Protoss. You would just never try to go, apparently, Mass Cyclone against a Protoss. It doesn't win. Blink Stalkers are good against it. Charge Lots are pretty good against it. Immortals are pretty good against it. Storm's good. Like, just there are a lot of answers to Mass Cyclone for Protoss, it turns out. And honestly, same thing for Zerg. Like, Mass Cyclone is just not good. That's why you have to have Hellions in there against Zerg to deal with the Zerglings that are going to come and try to kill you. Additionally, Soulless is having a hard time spending his money. He's sitting on 700 minerals and 200 gas, and I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but at 5 minutes, that's a big bank. And you need to start spending stuff now. You have a lot of factories. Do it. Please build something. Yeah, I mean, I would argue the one thing that keeps people in the lower leagues longer than anything else is just not building stuff. Whether it's building workers or building army units. If you can do those two things and avoid getting supply blocked, that will get you out of silver and bronze. It just will. I can promise you that. Macro gets you out of silver and bronze. I'm not going to guarantee you're going to get into diamond or anything, but you'll be promoted on some level. And the fact that production tab is actually doing stuff here for Firedune, upgrades, probes in production, more gateways, warping in, and the production tab is empty for Soulless is a major problem. I understand he's showing up with his 2 Cyclones, which is nice. Wait. Okay, I guess that's a 1-for-1. Cyclone for Stalker is a pretty good trade. If they had Blink, man, this Cyclone would be dead already. But instead going for Charge, which I really can't get mad at too much. I like how he's just... Dear Cyclone, you're not going to engage with us. Oh, look at this. Look at this sentry burning down the Cyclone. Dude, no... Oh, man, he used lock-on to kill the Cyclone. The bonus, or the basic attack of the Cyclone does not do much damage to that sentry. That's kind of incredible. Man, all right, so where are we with this? It's 60 to 26 supply. Soulless is still refusing to build things. I feel like Soulless is either playing just with a mouse and no keyboard clicks at all, or maybe he's high or another way intoxicated. Because these factories are doing nothing. It's like, well, my Stalkers, or rather my Cyclones did not do what I wanted them to do, so I can't do that anymore. I know what I'll do. I'll build a Raven. Oh, there we go. Into tanks. All right, that's fine. Having a billion tanks against Stalkers is going to do just fine, but Immortals counter those pretty darn effectively. And back here, we're making just another gateway, a shield battery, and a third base is coming up at 7 minutes, which is a little bit late. You probably want to expand around 5 or 6, but I'll take 7 minutes and a Brave New World game any day of the week. Double armory coming in from Soulless. He's produced 0 things out of these factories, by the way. These factories were produced, were created, and given tech labs, and nothing has been built out of them at all. The good news for Soulless is he's not supply blocked. He's at 102 available supply. Was he making more? And now a barracks transition. Look at all these supply depots over here. It's great. He's doing fantastic with that. Firedune also not supply blocked. Excellent work there too. Still producing Immortals. Loving that stuff. Immortals are excellent, excellent unit. Will usually always get value no matter what matchup they're in. They're just a staple of Protoss in all 3 matchups. Robotics Bay coming in for Firedune. That can be used for the Colossus or for the Disruptor. But Disruptors are definitely a better choice if your opponent has tanks. Colossus not as good. The tanks outrange them pretty significantly, and the Colossus damage does almost nothing to siege tanks. Oh, Thors, I say. He's actually building out... Nope. By Thors, I mean Thor. He's building 1 Thor with his 1,300 mineral and 500 gas bank. He's reactoring up these barracks. I guess he's going to supplement his mech army with some Marines at this point. Sure. But army value is 43 to 19 right now. Firedune. Part of getting promoted, part of winning games like these is recognizing that your opponent has nothing. I like the Observer that's here, but you're afraid by all that he has. You haven't seen that he has 3 siege tanks. You can just A-move on this. With this army, especially with the 3 Immortals backing them up, you win the game now. It's over. Ooh, I don't know about the Colossus play. I guess, though, okay, so he saw the reacted barracks and said Marines, right? So in that case, Colossus, excellent choice. Colossus trades so well against Marines, it's not even fair. Of course, that assumes Soulless, again, wants to build anything out of these barracks, because he's not doing it. He's got his Thor, he's got his 3 tanks, he's got 35 workers of 51 probes on the other side for Firedune. And yeah, at some point, if you're on 3 bases, it's really just time to push. I like that you're spending your money. 100 minerals, 600 gas at 10 minutes is excellent. And oh my gosh, it's upgrades. Oh, he's actually making Marines. Kind of. 6 at a time. Oh, and some Marauders, too. Alright, Soulless has some ideas about this game now. Marines and Marauders and Siege Tanks, they all complement each other very well. You probably want to start making some medevacs, though, if you're going to make all this much bio, because it sure seems like you're going pretty heavy into that stuff. But this 2-base production is actually kind of impressive out of Soulless. He's got, what, 5 factories and 4 barracks on 1 base. This is not really sustainable in the long run, but if you're just trying to spend your bank because you recognize you're floating a bunch of cash, absolutely. Absolutely throw up a bunch of production facilities. Auto turret harass in range of cannons. Not going super well. And the Raven ends up dying to these cannons too. Army responding a little bit belatedly, just like my camera work, but that's okay. Blink on the way, Dark Shrine on the way. Alright, so now we're at a point where A moving into this is not super viable. See, a lot can change in a minute, man. A lot can change. You scout that thing at 10 minutes and you're like, okay, we win, move across, kill it. But if you wait for 11 minutes, 11 and a half minutes, suddenly this is now the case. And an A move is not as viable. Especially if the tanks are siege, and especially if you're coming up a ramp. Always be wary of coming up ramps in StarCraft. No matter what race you are, coming up a ramp against an opponent who is sitting there with an army is always a horrifically bad idea. So yeah, 54 workers on 3 bases is pretty good. Probably want to expand here, though, if you're the Protoss. Go for a 4th base. This is a logical choice to take. Anywhere else is a little scarier. 4th bases are never easy to take. But that's probably your best bet at the 6 o'clock position. I like that you're keeping these barracks busy. Honestly, Soulless. The factories are not doing anything, which I'm concerned about. Ah, killed the Observer. Now you're a little blind, Firedune. Look, it's a little bit scarier. But yeah, look at this. Army supply suddenly is 84 for Soulless. You see what happens when you consistently build stuff? Suddenly 84 supply for Soulless. Now this is where Colossus are going to be awesome. This is largely a Marine contingent. If you can attack them without having the tank shelling you, get rid of those guys, and then just move the Immortals in on these guys. You're going to be alright. Void Ray is not a huge fan of. Just because the Marines will destroy them. Yes, they'll kill everything else here, but the Marines will eat them alive. And a Fleet Beacon, too, for Firedune. I'm not sure if that's for Flux Veins, the speed upgrade for the Void Rays, or he's going to try to go for Carriers here. Which could be a little bit interesting. Alright, so we got a Warp Prism. And there's not really much dead airspace. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much have to do this in range of Soulless's vision in his main base, because he doesn't have any places he doesn't have vision of. But 6 Zealots warp right on in. They've got 2-2. They're just going after add-ons at this point. They're going to kill reactors. Oh, this poor Thor. Dude, the anti-Thor is Zealot DT. Like, that is, look how fast it dies. I think he killed a Zealot. Not good trade. Also, my goodness, this is accomplishing a lot of work. Whoa! The tanks on the low ground are the biggest problem here. Nothing really responding to this on the high ground is the issue. So there's some more DTs, assuming that Soulless doesn't know how to handle Dark Templar. And you know what? You are probably partially correct about that. Oh, all of these barracks, all of this beautiful production that Soulless has worked so hard on, burning and exploding. Okay, reactor on that. Medevacs are amazing units. Preventing their construction is always very nice. And Soulless decides, you know what it is? It's time to move on out. Dude, this Colossus stuff. He's okay. No. Maybe don't. He got a lot of kills there. You can't. You have to admit. Dude, the Void Rays. Okay, so the Void Rays and the Colossus move in first. Apparently, the Stalkers and Zealots went across the other side of the map. The Colossus was a little bit late to the party. Where are my Immortals? When did they die? Oh, here they are. The Immortals are coming back a little bit. Oh, this is interesting. So the Marines are great against the Immortals. Zealots, though, the Zealots are the key here. The more Zealots you have, the more buffering they can do for the Marines and the Marauders. This is intense. This is pretty nuts. The Immortals are shooting the Marines, unfortunately, not what you want to see. Tanks firing on these Stalkers is excellent. So dang good. Oh, this Marauder tank army. Goodbye, Colossus. But the DT warping! The DT warping, there's an army and his main killing all of his stuff. His production facilities are done for the day. And Firedune barely manages to hold on against the massive, suddenly incredibly massive attack from Soulless there. Nice job. Good job, Firedune, getting the win on 3 bases. I like the variety in the unit production, right? We had Zealots, Dark Templar, Stalkers, Immortals, Colossus. If you can learn how to use High Templar with Storm, that's another way you get promoted in StarCraft. If you can use Storm, that is your ticket to winning against Terran and Zerg. For sure. And it's also very good against Protoss, too. All right. So the warping accomplished way more than it should have here. I mean, the Marina Marauder should have come up from the natural base and has blown everything out and killed these warp prisms. Maybe expanded himself, but instead he kind of just responded with what units he had, and that just was not enough. And meanwhile, Firedune, doing pretty good against a really nice composition that Soulless had. Tank Marine Marauder is really tough to deal with without splash damage. The Colossus did a bunch of work there. This Colossus does have 18 kills, as we've been seeing in the bottom right there the whole time. Zealots were very good. More Zealots probably for buffering for the Immortals and for the Colossus. And a couple more Colossus would have been good too. 2 Colossus at the same time are so much better. They're better than the sum of their parts, right? So having 2 together feels better than just having 2. It's like having 3. It just feels that way. So losing that first Colossus was an issue. I guess the Colossus was moving across the map along with the Stalkers, but was too slow and got caught up and killed as a result. Anyway, yeah, the Thors kind of really handled there by the Zealots and the DTs, as we saw. And yar, end of the day, resources lost 13,000 for Soulless, 7,000 for Firedune. Pretty darn cost efficient. 2 probes died, 17 SCVs died on the other side, 49 Marines, 11 Marauders, and 8 tanks went down in exchange for a Colossus, 12 Stalkers, and 4 Void Rays. Yeah, the Void Rays, not my favorite. Not my favorite against Terran especially. They have a lot of really good answers to Voids. Not recommended, but never lost a base is Firedune, so that's a good way to win this thing. And it's almost like he kicked Soulless into actually doing something. I think Soulless would have been happy to sit back there and just macro forever. But at the end of the day, not enough. Not enough from Soulless. All right, cool stuff. Well, that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of Brave Noob World. Go ahead, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw, what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.